It's going to get bad. Are you ready? Hey everybody, it's Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. We've seen a lot going on. Food shortages, more coming with that. Inflation, a lot of stuff is coming down the pipe in very short order, I believe. So we got to take this seriously. We got to step up. We got to be ready for turmoil, for chaos. All the stuff we know is going on, add on top of that, the whole midterm thing going on, where people like checking a box that doesn't mean anything. What about turmoil regarding that? On top of everything else, on top of the world events and the stuff that we're being pushed into on the world stage. There's a lot going on. Everybody is not or will be in a role that I'm set up for right now. But I recommend everybody have some kind of capability to protect and defend themselves and their families. No matter what their situation is, no matter what your situation is, you can have something to protect and or defend yourself, your family, those around you. Having proper kit, being serious about it. A lot of people talk chest rigs, plate carriers, stuff like that. Do you need plates, all this stuff like that? Yes. They both serve different roles. They have their place. But get the best gear you can. Have the most capabilities that you possibly can. Anything that can give you an edge. On top of all that, of course, you have to have training. You got to get out and use your gear. That is paramount. Have the best stuff you can get, that you can afford, that you can have. Capabilities are going to be very important. Things like night vision, thermal. If you have the ability to go quiet, I recommend it. If you can go that route. Or other extended capabilities. Plates, helmet, body armor type stuff. Protect yourself. Yes. Communications. Don't forget communications. We get caught up on all this tactical stuff. A lot of people forget or they don't think about comms. You got to have comms with your teammates. Whether you have teammates now or when stuff goes down. When stuff goes down, a lot of people that are right there on the verge, they're kind of like not really awake, kind of awake. There's going to be a lot of people coming out of the woodwork. A lot of people coming out of the woodwork going, oh shoot, we got to form groups. We got to get training, stuff like that. That's why you got to set yourselves up now. Proper gear. Things like this. Yeah, that, not adequate. Sorry about that. People like to drive around here crazy. And I'm dressed the way I am today right now because my whole family's sick. We've been battling this thing, just hanging on. It's just the crud. It's not the big C word. It's just, we get sick every now and then. So, yeah, I'm all bundled up because I really feel like crap right now. But I need to get content out for you guys. Things like this, not adequate. Increased capabilities. Index or duplexing mags. Higher ones like D60s, 40s, etc. Having those capabilities is important. Having the capabilities of protecting yourself and patching holes. There, normally here also. I just took this off. I got to get another rat's tourniquet for here. But man, turmoil is on the horizon. Even people I talk to that are not really into this whole world, preparedness and stuff, they get it. They see what's coming down. I have a feeling that not too far in the future, things are going to get really bloody. There's going to be a lot of turmoil, a lot of chaos. I feel that we will be called upon to use this stuff. So having the best capabilities you can, put yourself on the same level of playing field as you feel whatever adversary you think you're going to be facing. If you think it's World War whatever and, Wolverines and stuff, what level are they on? What level are you going to be facing? What capabilities do you have? What if it's just the Golden Horde, zombified people run around trying to, take stuff from others because they're trying to feed their families? Okay, but another way to look at it also is not just to have the equipment, the training, everything to equal the playing field. Try to up the playing field. If you got more capabilities, more training, more abilities than those you'll be facing, then you have a better chance of survival. We need to start, hopefully you've been thinking about this already, but you got to start taking security and defense seriously. Everybody that's capable of doing this kind of stuff needs to have the ability to do so. The gear to go along with it, the training to go along with it. Not everybody may be forced into that role or may actually step into that role. But the more people that are capable of stepping into that role, the better off we'll be. That's why if you have abilities, if you have knowledge, skill sets regarding this kind of stuff, train others. They don't have to be, okay, a lot of people, first, before I forget to, please subscribe, hit the like button, which is that thumbs up, comment on the videos, all the things. Please help with that, that computer thing. I would really appreciate it. Okay, a lot of people fail to understand or realize that when they're talking about training and forming groups and stuff like that, a lot of people, and I fall into the same category, we focus, we get narrow, we get tunnel vision, and we think inner circle group, like hardcore. These are the people I trust, I rely on without a question, without a doubt. Everybody doesn't have to be inner circle. There's different circles. And even if it's just, like I said, if you have the training and the skill sets, get out and train people. Even if if you know that they will never be inner circle. The more people that we have in these groups, in these rings, that have some kind of training, some kind of ability, and people talking to them about gear. What's appropriate, what's not appropriate. What do you need? What to spend money on, what to not waste their money on. We need to be empowering others. We need to be training others. We have a good group of people. Hardcore inner circle and some rings. And one of the things that happened one time in training, it was funny. We had a new guy, great guy, older, but so he's not one of those guys that's going to be like the door kicker. He's more of the Overwatch type guy, or the defend the fob, or the whatever it is type guy. But he went out and he bought all new gear in black. Oh my, we're like, no. Black is not tactical. If you are in a 100% urban situation and you think that you're only going to be operating at night, then maybe, possibly, but no. Black still stands out more at night than stuff like this. It's a fact. So, and we run into people all the time also. We try to tell them when they first show up, and I recommend you guys do this too. Don't buy any gear until you've come to training a couple times, until you see what people are running, until you talk to the guys that know what they're doing. It doesn't have to be a Cry JPC. It can be Condor gear. Not even going to go into that argument here. Because you can help them not waste their money and not buy needless stuff. Well, a lot of people tend to go a little overboard when they're first starting out, if they can afford it. Also, proper setup for things like this. They don't need to have all these lights, lasers, all this crazy stuff all over them. Keeping it simple is good. Like I already said, this is not adequate. This is for YouTube purposes only. A light, important. An optic will increase your capabilities, not mandatory. You can just have iron sights. Works just fine. Lightweight, barrel length. But the big thing to teach people, and if you don't know, well then I recommend you guys learn also. What do you need to do to these to make them function as close to 100% reliably as possible? Bolt carrier group, gas tube. Those are two of the most important things. Also, within capabilities is this may not always work. So have a secondary, have a tertiary, things like this. Good knife. Doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, but it has to be good. And you have to be able to grab it like I just did without looking. You need to know where it's at. And yes, the sheath is still a little stiff. It's fairly new. I've been using it a lot. But one thing is, in a high stress environment, I'm going to be ripping that bee out of there real quick. So it won't affect anything. But I hope you guys understand where I'm going with this. We need to train and equip as many people as we possibly can. I also recommend, if you're in a place to do so, have extra gear sitting aside for those people that will show up and or those new guys coming out of the woodwork. But before you do that, make sure your capabilities are squared away. Make sure your primary is in a situation, is set up so it'll function flawlessly. Your secondary functioning flawlessly. Your protection, your plates, your helmet, your nods, if you're going to get them. A thermal optic if you can afford it. Great. That's a good force multiplier right there. But also, don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to teach people skills that you don't actually have firsthand experience with. Be realistic with yourself. Not knocking anybody. Just be real and be honest. If you have capabilities in one area and not another, don't try to be cool guy and make those around you feel like you're something you're not. Because you're going to train them improperly, and that will lead to death. Please don't do that. Be real with yourself. Be honest with yourself about your abilities and your capabilities, especially when you're training others. They need to be trained properly. You need to be trained properly. I need to be trained properly. Everybody needs to be trained properly. It's not just get any kind of training, but proper training. Individual tactics, group tactics, small unit tactics, CQB, open field, long range, patrolling, field craft, survival. A lot of skills, the vast majority of skills, soldiering skills, are not relating to this. There's so much more to it. So make sure you're training on those things also. Make sure you're training in and for situations that are realistic. I apologize, I had to pause it. Package came, and now I lost my train of thought, of course. I know I was talking about training. I know I was talking about being realistic. Oh, here's where I was. We shouldn't be training like we are in the military, active duty, boots on the ground, in the sandbox. Because A, we're not active duty. I mean, some of you may be, but I'm talking preppers in general. We're not active duty anymore. We're also not in the sandbox. The tactics, techniques, and procedures used over there may or may not apply over here. And the access to technology, the access to support, the access to backup, air support, all these different things doesn't exist. We need to think of things as a standalone unit. We need to think of things as guerrilla style stuff, partisan style stuff, resistance style stuff. Train in tactics that will give you that advantage. They will enable you to fight like that. Not going to really go into too much detail about that. You guys should be able to figure that out. The main point I really want to stress in this video is increase your capabilities. Have every capability you possibly can. And one of the best capabilities you can have is your physical fitness, your strength, your endurance. Those are two of the best things you can have. So work on it. Even if you are fit, step it up. I'm sick right now, so I can't work out. But as soon as I start feeling better, I'll be hitting it again, just like always. Yeah, I've been down on a lot of our garlic honey mix. I've been elderberry, vitamin C, you know, all the good things. Lots of herbal tea, lots of water. Yeah, we'll get through this. Like I said, it's just crud. It's just hanging on. So anyway, gaining every advantage you can. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. Have a wonderful day and blessings to you and yours.